Okay, so we are starting chapter 5. So this is the dual part of this orthogonal polynomial theory. We have done chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 about the moments, story, history, path, determinant, all this. So this was the side of orthogonality. Now we are going to the side, which I'll call the dual side, of interpreting the coefficient themselves, or the generating function of the orthogonal polynomial. So we have seen the ASCII tableau, classification of a hypergeometric orthogonal polynomial. I have not said a word about hypergeometric function. And you see here in this tableau, there is the 5 Scheffer orthogonal polynomial. So Scheffer is related to exponential structure. This chapter is about the relation between exponential structure and orthogonal polynomial, which is going to give us some interpretation of the coefficient of this 5 Scheffer polynomial. But half of the talk today will be devoted to Jacobi polynomial. Even if they are not Scheffer polynomial, you can interpret Jacobi polynomial with a very beautiful interpretation about Jacobi configuration. And you use all the theory of cometal spaces, which is related to exponential structure. And there is a very nice paper. The first cometal interpretation was given by Pierre Leroux and Dominique Fouata. And so we need to remind you some about, in part 1, about the exponential power theory. I will use the language of spaces, and there is a book given by François Bergeron, Gilbert Labert, and Pierre Leroux. So Pierre Leroux, he has a very important role in the view of combinatorics with spaces. And unfortunately, he died. He was a very good friend of me, and he died 10 years ago. And so I will devote this lecture to my dear friend Pierre Leroux. So we met we spent 1 year in San Diego, California, in 78, 79. So that was a great year. We were both of us 1 year there. There was Adriano Garcio, and there was Stanley the whole year. He was in sabbatical, and he gave a course. Complete course the whole year, and this was a draft of volume 1, volume 2. So we get the draft of the volume in 78, 79. And then when Pierre Leroux came back to UQAM in 79, he was mostly working on functor category, but then he was really enthusiastic about combinatorics. He created a seminar in 79, Séminaire de combinatoire at UQAM, University of Quebec à Montréal. And this seminar is every Friday morning, and it's going on since 40 years. And in 1980, he created the group de recherche en combinatoire at l'UQAM, and they use a lot, develop the theory of spaces. The seminal paper of spaces by André Joyal, and then people like Gilbert Labelle was also involved in spaces many times, and this is a model for exponential generating function. And so I talk about Pierre Leroux because when he created this group of combinatorics, there is a lot of people in this group which gave combinatorial interpretation of some family of orthogonal polynomial. So I mentioned, for example, Pierre Leroux and François Bergeron, and some visitors like Volker Strel, Ye, from Taiwan, and Dominique Fouata, or myself. So there was many activity at that time about giving a combinatorial interpretation of the orthogonal polynomials themselves. And then, so he was a founder in 1989, he founded the LACIM Laboratoire de Combinatoire et d'Informatique Mathématique. So this was a prolongation of the group, so this was an official laboratory, and we have a lot of exchange between Bordeaux laboratory and a group de combinatoire in Bordeaux and in Montreal, because we are growing in both countries. We were developing this bijective aspect of combinatorics. Also, Pierre Leroux is one of the founders of the famous series of colloques, FPSAC, Formal Power Theory and Algebraic Combinatorics. So it began, this series of FPSAC began in 88 and 90 in Lille. It was mainly by Gérard Jacob. He was working in non-commutative power theory in relation with differential equation and control theory. So it was a small meeting. And then when Pierre Leroux was in Bordeaux with Marie Deleuze, with other people, we decided to make, instead of meeting on non-commutative variable, to make meeting on only one variable, which commutes with itself. And so it's a meeting on the formal power series and algebraic combinatorics. And then we decide to make some poster, to make some committee, to submit papers, everything. So this was really the starting of this big series. There was 200, maybe 140 people in Bordeaux. And then the next one was in Montreal with more than 200 people. And again, it was in Firenze with our friend in Italy with 200 people. And then they go all over the world, in China, Japan, Korea, all over in South America, in Chile, in Europe, many countries in Europe. And for the first time, in 21, it will be in India, in Bangalore, organized by Arvind Nair. So Pierre Leroux was in the permanent committee, and he made a lot of effort to create this series for many, many years. And his biography and papers and the human aspect of Pierre Leroux is in the French Gazette des Mathématiciens. So this picture was taken at the Séminaire Lotharingien in Berthier-Neuron, 2007, and he died 6 months later, in March 2008. So not only was a mathematician, but also he organized some expedition, big expedition in winter. 1 week you have to with the beauty of the nature, and so we enjoy this very much. And in the evening, then you can spend. So it was 1 week every year organized. It was very well organized. In winter, it was expedition in some mountains in Quebec or in Great Rocky or even in Pyrenees. And in summer, it was expedition in canoe. He was a professional canoe. Maybe he made 10,000 kilometers in canoe in rapids. He learned me how to go in rapids. And this picture is from an expedition in very far north of Quebec. We spent 3 weeks. There was nothing, nobody, and he organized this for a whole year, and we have a very. I remember all my life of this expedition. We 3 weeks without anybody everywhere. So he was a very nice man, and I dedicate this lecture to him. So hypergeometric series and orthogonal polynomial. So there is famous ASCII tableau, and I am going to define what is this symbol here, f, 4, 3, f, 1, 2, 1, 1, etc. So hypergeometric function. The power series is geometric if and only if the ratio of 2 consecutive terms is a constant, which means that un is a constant multiplied by c power n. And the series is called hypergeometric when the ratio of 2 consecutive terms is a rational function. So rational means you can always write the rational R of n like this, with some parameter A1, A2, IR, and there is one n, B1, B2, B, and the variable z. And then I introduce the following symbol. The following symbol, it's A index k will be A multiplied by A plus 1, etc., multiplied by A plus k minus 1. We have used this symbol many times. Even there is an extension to negative number, but we will not use this extension. We will use many times this symbol A index k for this. This is sometimes called the programmer symbol of rising factorial. And then the hypergeometric function is defined in the following. Of index r and s on variable I1, I2, IR, B1, B2, Bs, and the variable z is the exponential generating function. You see, you have z power k divided by k factorial, and with all this numerator and denominator. So this is the definition of a hypergeometric function or power series. And some polynomial, all the polynomial of ASCII tableau can be written as particular case of this expansion. Sometimes the expansion will be finite. So hypergeometric function, in fact, start from Gauss, the famous F2 bond of Gauss in 1812, sorry. So it's in three variables, A and B and C, three parameters. And Gauss calls this hypergeometric series. Sometimes hypergeometric series are related to only the Gauss hypergeometric function. And then he states this beautiful formula that this Gauss hypergeometric function is a product divided by a product where gamma is extension to real number of n factorial. And then it was extended from Gauss, F to 1, it was extended to NA, R, and S. So sometimes people call this generalized hypergeometric function series by referring hypergeometric series to Gauss. But now, when you take the term hypergeometric series for any kind of any parameter R and S. So this class, I will not give a coetal theory of a hypergeometric function. It's just to show you the relation with orthogonal polynomial. But I will just mention some identity, some very classical identities, the Q-Vandermonde identity, which is this simple hypergeometric function that is going to be with minus 1n, give you this formula. There is, with 2, 1, there is this formula by Kummer. It's a little more complicated. And I will give 3 formulas. This is the Pfaff-Schulz formula. Now, there is beautiful combinatorial proof of this by Zeng, Fouata, etc. So this is a sample of some identity, you see. I will not use at all, it's just to, as a complement to show you some beautiful identity. So we say it's go back to, even to the 14th century, 18th century, then Kummer was 19th century, and Pfaff-Schulz, it's in the 18th century. But don't, just as a complement. Let's go to orthogonal polynomial. So I will start with orthogonal Scheffer polynomial because they are really related to exponential structure. So I will call you the definition of Scheffer polynomial. It's polynomial such that Pn, the exponential generating function, has the following form. There exist two power series, f and g, such that the exponential generating function is equal to g of t multiplied by the exponential x f of t. So it depends on two functions, f and g, with a variable x. So we already made this definition for the moment side of the orthogonal polynomial. So this typically exponential structure, species, is going to appear to interpret this at the combinatorial level. And a particular case is when g of t equal identity is 1. Then you have only one generative function. This is called binomial type polynomial. So it's related to the Q delta operator of Rota, umbral calculus. So in chapter 5b, I will show you the combinatorial interpretation of the delta. There is another definition with delta operator. The umbral calculus of Rota, I will show you the interpretation in the second part of chapter 5. And we have seen in previous chapter that orthogonal, there is a theorem of Mechner, 1934. Orthogonal polynomials are Scheffer polynomial if and only if they are of the following type. There is only 5 family of Scheffer orthogonal polynomial: Hermite, Laguerre, Charlier, and Mechner-Polaczek. And the proof, in fact, Mechner theorem, he proved it by showing that it's equivalent to say that orthogonal polynomials have Scheffer type if and only if in the three-term linear recurrence relation, in the moment, the bk is linear and lambda k is quadratic. And then they classify, if you are in a real analysis with real number A, B, C, D, then according to this classification of A and C, etc., you get the five orthogonal polynomials. So this is the tableau in ASCII. You see, there is many other polynomials which are not Scheffer polynomial. But we will be able to do your Jacobi orthogonal polynomial. Even this one, the Krachtchuk polynomial and the Hahn polynomial, it's possible to do this with the same kind of idea with exponential structure and species. So I have to remind you the chapter 3 of part 1. It was a basic element for spaces and working with exponential generating function. So there is different model, but I like spaces. I have been very influenced by the Québécois school, by Pierre Leroux. I spent many times. I go very often to Montreal, and I like spaces. In the Flageolet book on analytic combinatorics, for the ordinary generating function, I follow the symbolic method of Flageolet, but for the exponential generating function, then I like to follow this language of spaces. So spaces is like a formal definition of what is a combinatorial object, what is a combinatorial structure. So the idea is first you have an underlying set, and then spaces is going to be something you are going to define like a graph, a tree, a permutation, anything. And in fact, to define formally what is a combinatorial object, a species is you take a subset U, and the species you just give the list, all the list of combinatorial structure of the type F. For example, if U is any set, you can give the list of trees you can construct on the underlying set U. So we call alpha. Any element of this list is called to be an F structure. F is a species, like, for example, species of trees. So the underlying set is a 6 element, A, B, C, D, E, F. And then you give the list of all possible trees, graph with no circuit. And this is a species tree. So there are many other species, the permutation, the set partition, graph, endo function, etc. The problem is that if you give the list of structure for a certain set, A, B, C, D, you should be able to give it the list for any set having the same number of elements. If I am labeling my element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so usually people say there is a structure like a tree. Just delete, imagine you delete the A, B, C, D, and then you say it's a label structure. You will put label A, B, C, D, E, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So formally, to define spaces in an abstract way, you have to say, okay, if I have a bijection between two sets U and V, there is a list of structure trees on U, there is a list of trees on V, so I should be able to make a transportation from one set to the other. So in the formal definition of spaces, then there is if you have a list of the spaces of type F, a list of F of V, then there is a map, a bijection, which is a transportation. For any pair U and V, there is a bijection, which gives a transportation of the list of structure here to the list of structure here. For example, if you take U equal ABC, then this is a list of trees. There is 3 trees on ABC. There is 3 trees on 1, 2, 3. And you see what I have done is the bijection F between U and V, I make in bijection A go to 1, B go to 2, C go to 3. So if you have a bijection between U and V, then you have a bijection between the trees on U and the trees on V. So maybe it's a little abstract, but for all this chapter, all we use, you don't need to go back to this formal definition. This is a functor definition, unique category. Because Leroux and Joyal was coming from the world of category, so they were inspired to define in abstract ways the exponential combinatorial structure. And so there is some axiom for the transport. If you make a transportation from U to V, from V to W, there is some diagram must be, and if the identity, if your bijection is just identity, then it will be the identity here. So don't be too formal with this. You can forget it and just concentrate on this design. So you have a U here, U, and then F. I call this F. It's a symbolic picture to say that I am making an F structure on the underlying set U. And AN will be the total number of F structure on the underlying set. And from the axiom of defining the spaces, if the AN doesn't depend on U, but only on the number of elements of U. If you make a list of trees on the set U, a list of trees on the set V, and if U and V have the same number of elements, then the number of trees on U and V will be the same number, AN. So you can define the exponential generating function of spaces. It's a number of combinatorial structure of F type, of the F species, on the set with n elements. So some example I will, in this chapter 5a, I will give you the example I will use many times in this chapter. So permutation, of course, it's given as a bijection from a set to another. Here it's permutation in cycle notation. The exponential generating function, an equal n factorial. So exponential generating function is 1 over 1 minus t. And another species is total order. It's the same number of elements, an equal n factorial. Again, the generating function is, exponential generating function will be 1 over 1 minus t. But in the species theory, it's not exactly the same species. You need to do a bijection with this and this. You need to put a total order on this, and to make a total order, you need more information. So if you don't have this information, then there is no canonical way to go from the list of permutation here to the list of permutation here. So if you're a purist in species, Gilbert Labelle will tell you this is the different species, and there is some differential equation in terms of species. There will be different solution. Of course, if you go back to what we call L species means that the underlying set is totally ordered, and then there is no difference between such a subtlety between permutation and total order. So another species is a cycle of a permutation. It's n minus 1 factorial. So the exponential generating function for cycle is the generating function is n minus 1 factorial Tn over n factorial. So it is this, which is a logarithm of 1 over 1 minus t. So 1 over 1 minus t is permutation. And you see, taking the logarithm is taking the connected component. It's taking the cycle. So this is a... there is a phone somewhere. This is the intuitive idea, is that the connected component, taking the logarithm of an exponential generating function, is taking the component of the segmental object. So we will do this a lot of time in this talk about Jacobi polynomial. Or if you take, for example, a graph, then the logarithm of the exponential generating function will be the generating function of connected graph. Or if you take a set means if you give me any set U, then the list of a structure is a set itself. So there's only one element. You don't do anything on the set. And so the generating function for set is e power t. And it's the letter E is beautiful because in French, E is ensemble. E is a number E is E, and the notation came from Euler. So E. So I will use the E notation for ensemble in the French notation. So the generating function, you see, the an equal 1. You do nothing. You just take in the list of structure, you take the set itself. Another one we have used partition of a set is the Bell number, the number of partition of a set in n element. And so the Bell number, the generating function, we will see, is exponential of e power t minus 1. This will become obvious with the following lemma. In this chapter also, we will use binary tree. So you know that binary tree is counted by Catalan number. But if I label the binary tree, intuitively, the number of such labeling is n factorial Catalan number. So if I take the exponential generating function of binary tree as a species, it's going to be the same as the ordinary generating function. It's because of the particularity of binary tree. You see, when I label it's because the isomorphisms are trivial in the... It's a very particular case where the exponential generating function is the same as the ordinary generating function when you don't label the tree. So I will need some operation on exponential structure, the sum, product, and substitution. So the sum, if you have two sets, the set U, and you have two different spaces F and G, then the sum is just the species F. On the set U, you put F, or with you put G, with exclusion. You put F, or you put G. If you take a set U, you put a tree, or you put a permutation. This will be the sum of a permutation and a tree. So obviously, proposition, the derivative function for the sum of two spaces is the sum of the derivative function. For example, the spaces set with derivative function e power t is the sum of the spaces even set and the species odd set. Pair, impair, P and E. So you get e power t equals hyperbolic cosinus plus SHT, the hyperbolic sinus. IT, I should. It's a virtual spaces. So we should look at virtual spaces for the Chebyshev polynomial and also for the Mexner polynomial second kind for the Atsky-Wilson. Yes, yes. It's better to notation to take to put the e power phi in. Is better, but we should maybe do some work to understand this. So now the product of two spaces. See, in ordinary derivative function, for example, for binary tree to state the algebraic equation, the product was just a Cartesian product with a good weight. But here the product is different. So you have as your set U, the product of F by G, it's a triple. So first, you take a partition of U into order partition in U1 and U2. So here I have this partition. I take these 2 points. This is U1. The 3 point here is U2. So on the first block of the partition, I put an F structure. And on the second block of the U2, I put an G structure. And proposition, the product, derivative function of the product of spaces is a product of the derivative function for F and for G. And the proof to tell this in exponential structure, if you look carefully at the definition of a product of power series, it means this. It means that the number of such structure for the product is sigma of the binomial coefficient n choose k multiplied by ak, b, n minus k. And this means exactly the definition. It means this n choose k, you are taking a partition in 2 blocks, one block with k element, or the block with n minus k element. On the first block, you put a certain F structure, the number of such structure is ak, and here is bn minus k. So it's obvious to see this. If you are working with ordinary derivative function, then there will not be any binomial here with ordinary derivative function. But working with exponential derivative function, then the binomial coefficient appear. A beautiful example of this application of this theorem is derangement. In French, dérangement. Dérangement D, it's permutation having no fixed point. And to give the derivative function, the number of such derangement is this well-known formula. This was well-known at the Euler time. And you see the limit of this, the proportion of derangement over n factorial is 1 over E. This is the limit. It was surprising for people at the 19th century that E appear in the probability of derangement. And it's obvious, this formula comes from this formula, that the derivative function for derangement is E minus t over 1 minus t. And this formula comes from this very simple principle, that if you take a permutation, and a permutation is a product as a species of a derangement multiplied by the fixed point, which are a set, isomorphic to a set. So permutation, you see, it's this part is derangement. It's all the cycle of length bigger or equal to 2, and you put this part, all the fixed point, of the cycle of length 1.
Oh, there's no derangement of size 1.
No, derangement means that all the cycle are at least of length 2. Because if there is cycle of length 1, then it's not a derangement. Derangement means that sigma over I is not equal to I. Derangement means that at the 19th century, people they formulate this in a nice way for children and or kids. You go to the theater, everybody has a hat, put the hat at the vestiaire, and when you go out of the room, then everybody take a hat by random. And what is the probability that nobody has his own hat on the head? Which means that there is a permutation among the number of people, and there is nobody with sigma of I equal I, will get back his hat. And when there is a big number of people, 50 people, it's very close to 1 over E, the probability. So people were surprised of this fact. But the proof is, you see, it's very simple. A permutation can be, as a species, is a product of derangement multiplied by a fixed point. And fixed point is isomorphic. You don't need to put this red arrow. It's exactly a set. So you get that the derivative function for set, e power t, multiplied by derivative function for derangement, equal derivative function for permutation, which gives you this formula. Now we'll need also for the Jacobi, this lecture on Jacobi polynomial, I will need the notion of substitution. If you have, it's going to be analog of substitution in generating function. So the substitution, you have two spaces, f and g, such as that for g, nobody live on the empty set. It's analog to the generating function as the constant term is 0. And then f, the substitution of f on g, then first you take a partition, u1, u2, uk of u. So this is a partition. See, I have my set u. I have a partition here in 3 blocks. Then on each block of the partition, you put a G structure. So you have beta 1, beta 2, beta k. Some G structure here, there is 3 blocks. And then on the set of blocks, which is symbolized as 3 blocks, which is symbolized by this 3 line, you put an F structure. And in the language of species, you say that this is an F assembly, assembly where you put people together, an F assembly of G structure. And for example, permutation is an assembly of cycle. And where the F structure is very simple. So the proposition is that the substitution in species corresponds to substitution in generating function. And the proof is that Cn, what is the number Cn of in this definition? How many such structure? You have to take a partition, order partition u1 to uk. You have to take this, and so the partition is a multinomial coefficient, and you have to take ak over n factorial, or all this. You should put Cn over n factorial equal this over n1 factorial, etc. And you can check that you have this formula, which gives you exactly the proof of this formula. Go back to part 1 if you for the detail, but you have it corresponds to substitution in power series. And this particular case I will use many times today is that in the case E is a set, so this is a generating function is e power, it's exponential, e power t. So in the case it's a set, then you get the exponential of g of t. So generating function is sometimes is denoted the species e power g, and the picture is like this. You see, you have if for example I take you take some blocks. No, this is a general picture for the f, the substitution of g in the f structure. But in the case f is a set, you don't do anything here. Then you get h. This substitution, this species is exponential of the species g. So it's called an assembly of G structure. See, here you do nothing. F is just a set. So you take some blocks. You have your set U. You make a partition in block. On each block, you put a G structure, and the generating function for the whole thing is the exponential of generating function of block. So we'll use many times this today. So it's a simple assembly. In the general case, we are saying that it was an F assembly. F was any any species, but in the case species is set, then you get an assembly of G structure. For example, a permutation is an assembly of cycle, because F is just the species set. So the genetic function for permutation is the exponential of the genetic function of cycle. But you just see that the genetic function of cycle was a logarithm. So it says we have to in a reverse way. You have a cycle, taking the exponential is you get permutation. If you have a permutation, taking the logarithm, you get cycle. The next application is the number of partition, because when you have some block, the genetic function for Bell number is the exponential of e power t minus 1. Because any partition is an assembly of non-empty block. So an assembly is exponential here, and non-empty block, it's e power t minus 1. So immediately you get the Bell number. I go back to permutation, you see, this is permutation, this is cycle, genetic function for cycle is this, and which is a logarithm of 1 over 1 minus t. And I will need also today, for the Jacobi polynomial, Ando function. Ando function is a map from a set to itself, and I claim that this is species permutation substitution with arborescence. So if you look at the Ando function, any map from a set to itself is counted by n power n. So you see some, if you delete, there is some trees coming. See, the arrow means that if you take any element, this is f of the element. So an Ando function, if you have a finite set, if you follow f of this element, f, then if it's finite, so you are going to get some cycle. So Ando function is like you have a certain set of cycle, and on the cycle, there is some trees, some arborescence arriving at the cycle. So if I delete cycle, you see there is some arborescence, and these arborescences are fixed on the vertices of the cycle. In fact, I have this decomposition. You see, so I have each cycle with in attached to each vertex of the cycle, it attaches an arborescence, and the Ando function, you see, it's a substitution in permutation. So in green, I have the permutation, and in each of these elements of the cycle, it's like if you have a balloon, you inflate the balloon and you put inside an arborescence. So it's a cycle of arborescence, you see, and so the Ando function is a substitution in permutation. You substitute the arborescence. So I will use, again, I will need this for the Jacobi polynomial. Finally, I need many things to give this is a very beautiful interpretation of Jacobi polynomial. And we will need all this language of species. And then for the orthogonal polynomial, I will put some weight on the species. It will be weighted species. And so weight, then it will be for any element of the list of species, then you will get a weight. It's any monomial on a ring, as usual, same ring we will take all along the class. It can be integer, real number, complex number, or even a ring of polynomial in variable alpha, beta, gamma, and formal variable, and some coefficient in Z or in Q, etc. And so again, there is you can have the axiomatic transport of structure, and then definition, you can, the genetic function of, for weighted structure is a sum like this, where Pn is an element in every K. It's a sum of the weight of all the elements of the F structure. We have seen many sum of weight of, for Hermite, Laguerre, polynomial, etc. So we will put a weight on the quantital object, and it satisfies the axiom of transport of structure, weight to another, and there is a genetic function of weighted structure. Go back to part 1 of the class 3 years ago to the detail. And so I will start now with all this material I have remind you about the combinatorial interpretation of the most simple is Hermite polynomial. So Hermite, now I give you the definition. One possible definition of Hermite is with hypergeometric function. Like this. So here is a physicist Hermite. In this notation, the physics Hermite is this exponential geometric function. So this is one possible definition. This is another possible definition. But we will use, as usual, the Hn. It's not this one. In this class, the Hn is with this geometric function. So it's a combinatorial Hermite polynomial, the harmonic polynomial. And you say it's polynomial with binomial type. All the others are Scheffer, the Charlier, Laguerre, etc. This is the only one in the list of 5 polynomials which are binomial type. And so now with all the axiom we have done, all the lemma on spaces, so xt, okay, this is a point with a weight x, and t2 over 2 is a exponential geometric function for a pair of points for a cycle of length 2. And with a weight -1 for this cycle. And I am working in exponential geometric function. So it's t2 over 2 factorial. Okay, now you apply, you see the geometric function. You take the exponential of this. So it's an assembly, a weighted assembly of this and this. So a weighted assembly of this and this is exactly, so it's an involution with some cycle of length 2 and some cycle of length 1. And there is a weight. X is a weight for the blue point, and -1 is a weight for the cycle of length 2. So you get immediately the interpretation of Hermite as the sum over -1 powers and above dimers or number of cycle of length 2. D was the notation when I was working with dimers. Sigma over all involution, x powers and above fixed point. So here is an involution, and the fixed point I written in blue, you see. So when you have derangement, there is means there is no fixed point. So x equals 0 when there is no derangement. It was an exercise in previous chapter that to show now with classical enumerative easy formula that the coefficient of the Hermite polynomial, if you want to count explicitly the number of involution by number of fixed points, you get this formula. So it's easy, you see. This was the first probably by Dominique Froissart in 78. I think it's the first interpretation. It was beginning of Hermite of orthogonal polynomial. At that time, there was no species, there was axiomatic, and I remember he gave a talk in the Séminaire Lotharingien in 78, on the chalk on the backboard. He took a whole 1 hour to explain all this with a model of... but now, if you have the power tool of exponential geometric function and species, etc., if you have all these tools, then it's become an exercise. And in this talk he gave, in fact, he proved, combinatorial proof of the Meller identity. At that time, all people working was very worried about the linearization coefficient and positivity of coefficient. Zalberger, Gillis, Askey, they were working on this. But very few people was working, except the matching polynomial of the complete graph, of the bipartite graph and Chebyshev. Not many people was working on really to give a proof of some combinatorial identity on orthogonal polynomial. And this was some of the first proof. They say once you have it was easy to get a combinatorial interpretation of Hermite. And now, once we have the combinatorial interpretation, let's go to give a proof of this Meller formula. So this was done by Dominique Froissart. And the proof is the following. So you have to interpret the left-hand side, the right-hand side. So the left-hand side is first Hermite. The first Hermite, so you have a red Hermite. So instead of putting cycle of length 2, in this picture it's come from the matching. It's the same as a cycle of length 2. This is a fixed point. Everybody is in red here. Fixed point in red and cycle of length 2. So this is an interpretation of the first Hermite polynomial. But I have a pair of 2 Hermite polynomial. So I have a pair of 2 involution. A blue involution, a red involution, and when you superpose 2 involution, you get this picture, you see, with some connected component. So you get this picture of superposition of 2 involution. It's going to be an assembly of something in blue and red. And I claim that this assembly of, there is different, you see, we see cycle here, even cycle, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. Here we see some chain with some fixed point at the end, maybe red, maybe blue. And so this block, the connected component, I claim that they're exactly given by the right-hand side. So here you have this 1 minus 42 power half of this, exponential of this. So inside the exponential, you have a sum of 3 terms. This term, which is here. So minus 4x2 divided by this, which is this. And this term here. I claim that each of these terms is interpreted by this. So here you have x, y. See, you have to. This is x. This is the y. And this generating function, because you have t2, 4 t2, it's
40 because half
is 2t to the square. So you can always, you have an even number of elements. And you can always put color, because it's blue here, it's red here. So you must put a red here, blue, red, blue. So t over this generating function is just if there was no color, but because of the fact that you have, because of this fact.
Wait, what is the weight of a dimer? It's
so the weight of a.
of each match.
This is the weight.
That's for that's x.
X is here, y
For
is here,
fixed points.
and yes, it's for
this
fixed
is
point.
minus 1. Right?
Yes, there is a minus 1 for it, but it's an even sequence.
And also
Here, this is odd sequence.
here.
So there's a minus here, because it's an odd sequence.
Okay.
There is a minus here, there is an odd sequence. And because there is red or blue,
So that's why x.
and because of this, it must be odd. The sequence of edges must be odd. And then you can put always a color red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, so that in a point there is no red edges or coming in a point, or no blue edges coming in the same point. So you can easily interpret these three things. Is it okay, Amri?
Yeah. I was just trying to.
Yes. And then I have to take the exponential. So I have to take assembly of such a things. And I have to make the product with this term. Now this term, this will be essential also for the Jacobi configuration. This term here, if you take the logarithm, take the logarithm of this term. So it's going to be half of the logarithm of this. And we know, so logarithm of this, it's cycle. There is a T2, so it's cycle of even length. I can always color them blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. But there is two different coloring. If you go in this turning or this turning, and taking half is you forget the edges on each of the. It's cycle, but they are not oriented cycle. Non-oriented cycle means you take half of this. This means it's cycle of even length. You can always make a sequence of blue and red. And then, so this term here, I have taken the logarithm. To get back the term, I have to do exponential. This term is the exponential of the logarithm of the term. So this term is interpreted by an assembly of this. Inside the bracket, it's only one cycle, non-oriented cycle. Exponential, you take many cycles. And so you have to take the product of this by product of this. This gives you an assembly of things with four possible connected components. The three connected components coming from here, which is this chain, alternating chain with some fixed point at the end, blue, blue, red, red, or blue, red. And then this even non-oriented cycle, you get an assembly of this. And then the Meller identity is just to say, is that to say that the left-hand side is this. The left-hand side was this. The right-hand side was this. And you see it's the same. So this is an example of once you have interpreted the Hermite polynomial, you get a beautiful proof, causal proof, of this Meller formula. So it's this calculus at this level. Each term you have to interpret by some object, and then you apply, you decompose into object, and then you make your, once you have decomposition, You have to be a good technician to make the translation, and then it became obvious, the identity. Then let's go at the first level. This was a 0 level with Hermite. Then next level is Laguerre and Charlier polynomial. So Laguerre polynomial can be written as, again, a hypergeometric series. And I will use the combinatorial Laguerre polynomial, the monic. I multiply this polynomial by factorial, n factorial. So I will get this generating function. This is a generating function for the monic Laguerre polynomial. I put a tilde, but all the Laguerre ln we have used in this class for moment, etc., was in fact this Laguerre, denoted by L index n. So I have this exponential generating function, which is this nice product. And so again, it's going to be easy to interpret it as a sum of the weight of some configuration. And so you have this term. This term is going to be this. Now we know it's 1 over 1 minus t multiplied by this is a number of a generative function of permutation and counted by putting a weight alpha plus 1 on its cycle. And this one is exponential. So I am taking chain, and the last point I put a blue, which corresponds to the variable minus x. So t over 1 minus t is non-empty chain. You must have a blue point. And taking the exponential is making an assembly of such a chain. So this is called the Laguerre configuration. Laguerre configuration, you take an order partition of a set E into two subsets A and B. It's a partition, it's a union, they are disjoint. And F is an injection map from A to A union B. See, here A is in the red point, B are the blue point, and any injection, the diagram, the graph of any injection from A to A union B can be written like this. If you follow the map F, you follow, then maybe you touch a blue point, and F is not defined on the blue point, or maybe you touch a red point and you make cycle. So any injection can be viewed like this. And then the weight is going to be the weight of the Laguerre configuration. I call this Laguerre configuration by putting L between two brackets, A and B. In fact, it's species. It's a Laguerre species. You have a partition, order partition. You have an injection from A to A union B. I put a weight equal alpha plus 1. For each cycle, I put alpha plus 1. So it will be alpha plus 1 power the number of cycles of F. Cycle of F is this, I will call. And minus X power the number of elements of B. And proposition, the Laguerre polynomial, is the sum of the weight of all the Laguerre configuration. Maybe I repeat why the alpha plus 1 is going to give you this generative function. It's good maybe to repeat it because if you take the logarithm exponential of this, take the logarithm, and so this is equal exponential of logarithm of this, which is equal to exponential of taking the logarithm of this, give you this. And so it's an exponential of cycle. Here it's cycle weighted by alpha plus 1. So you have the connected component is this cycle weighted by alpha plus 1. Take the exponential, and you get this. So this is a way to prove that I am going to use more complicated with the Jacobi polynomial, but you see cycle weighted by alpha plus 1 give you this exponential generating function. And this term is exactly the exponential of chain which are weighted by minus x, and non-empty chain t over 1 minus t. Now you can find the coefficient. I will need for the Jacobi polynomial the coefficient of the Laguerre polynomial. How many such injections? If you take I to be the number of red point, J to be the number of blue point, then there is a nice formula that the number of such injection is a summation over I plus J equal N of binomial coefficient multiplied by this. So you have an index I, so it means you take this, multiply by this plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, etc., and you have minus x power the number of blue point. In case there was no blue point, then this means you are counting, so you are only, there is no choice, there is n to the n. So you are counting permutation by the number of cycles. So it's an extension of the formula counting permutation by number of cycles. So else, I give you an exercise to prove this, or else maybe I will talk next time about how to prove that number of permutation by cycle is this polynomial. We were doing some open history with Favart path at the beginning of the class, and then I close this history to get the moment of the Laguerre polynomial. But I can do open history for injection and get an easy proof of this. In classical papers, they will tell you it's a proof by recurrence on the index I. You can prove it by recurrence, but next time maybe I will give you more synthetic proof of this, but consider this as an exercise, the number of injection. So we have done Hermite, Laguerre, and at the first level of orthogonal, Scheffer orthogonal, there is a Charlier polynomial. So the Charlier polynomial can be defined this way. And this is a geometric function, e power t, and so this is very easy. You can 1 minus something power x. I write this as the inverse of this power minus x. I write this as minus x. So I have the inverse, okay, it's cycle minus x. So I am going to have cycle weighted by minus x. And so Charlier configuration, here it's, so you have some cycle. Each cycle is weighted, it was alpha plus 1 of the Laguerre, so each cycle is weighted by minus x. So you have in red point, you have a partition in A and B. In B, you do nothing. And in A, you put a permutation. And because of the t over A, t is counting variable for the number of points. So you get a weight A minus 1 for each red point. And now you have e power t. E power t is corresponds to the blue point. You do nothing on the blue point, so it's a geometric function for set. You do nothing. It's exactly e power t. This corresponds to this. E power t corresponds to this. And so you get the Charlier polynomial is going to be the sum of the weight of this. So you have a pair, you have two, I call this Charlier configuration, C of A and B. So you have a partition, order partition in A and B. On A, you put a permutation. On B, it's an identity. You do nothing. And the weight of this pair, of the Charlier configuration, is minus x power the number of cycles of sigma, multiplied by inverse of A power the number of elements of A. And you get the Charlier polynomial as sum of the weight of this configuration. And you can write this as easily as a coefficient of the Charlier polynomial. So this was the three first Scheffer orthogonal polynomial at the bottom of the ASCII tableau. It was the most simple Hermite, Charlier, and Laguerre. So I will give a synthetic view of this. So Hermite configuration was so involution. You do involution on A, and here you just keep the set. So this is a picture for Hermite. Picture of Charlier is you put a permutation on A now, and you do the same as for Hermite. So we see the only difference is here it's any permutation. Here it's an involution. And now Laguerre, the Laguerre configuration, again you have a partition, and you put F, a map, an injection of A into A union B. So we have seen these three Scheffer polynomials. So I will, instead of going here, it's maybe a little more complicated. There is a very beautiful interpretation for the Jacobi, because it's not, and this was the first interpretation of Jacobi, was not obvious, was given by Pierre Leroux and Dominique Fouretta. So Jacobi polynomial, it's defined as a hypergeometric series, or this is one possible definition. Another possible definition is this. Up to this factor is derivative n time of this monomial. This is a kind called Grodrick formula. Each orthogonal polynomial, Hermite, Laguerre, etc., have some formula where you take a derivative operator many times and you get your orthogonal polynomial. So by some calculus, I don't do it, but if you do this, if you start from this definition and you take all the derivatives, then you get this definition. This is a formula for the Jacobi polynomial, sum over all the binomial coefficient for j between 0 and n, and then there is this variable here. So this is a possible formula. And there is a well-known formula, I think this was by many Jacobi itself, and ASCII, there is a well-known formula which is the following, that the Jacobi polynomial are given by this triple product where R equals this. And we are going to prove this, following Le Roux-Fouettard, to give a commutative proof of this. So you have this polynomial. You have to prove that starting from this polynomial here, the generating function, the ordinary generating function of the Jacobi is a product of this, where R is the square root of this. So I'm going to devote the second part of the talk, of this lecture, to prove, to give a commutative interpretation of a Jacobi polynomial and prove this formula. So first, just a change of variable. Instead of keeping x plus 1 over 2 and x minus 1 over 2, you put and multiply by n factorial. I replace this by capital X and capital Y. So if you replace this by a variable, you see, x and y. Sorry. Imagine you replace this by capital X, capital Y, and you get a polynomial in x and y, or this polynomial x and y, you can go back to the previous polynomial Pn by a change of variable. So I will use now this polynomial in x and y. Just replace here this by capital S, capital Y, and then the formula, this formula here, is going to be equivalent to this formula. Just believe me, it's this is x power I, y power j, and you get this formula. So we start from this formula for the Jacobi polynomial, put in what is called a homogeneous form. Instead of keeping this, you keep this variable capital X, capital Y.
Power of 2.
So in n choose I, power of 2, where is the power of 2?
Oh, okay.
So by keeping it, making it change a variable, starting from this formula, defining Jacobi, I have a change a variable, an homogeneous Jacobi, and this gives the formula. So this is the starting point for the definition of the homogeneous Jacobi. And I have to give the proof of this. I have to first give an interpretation of this, and then prove the formula. So the formula was this. That's for the Pn, the non-homogeneous. And if you translate it into homogeneous, you have this formula. So we want to prove this formula, that the generating function, exponential generating function of this polynomial, the Jacobi script, or homogeneous Jacobi, is a product of these three terms, and R is the square root of this. This is just a translation into a homogeneous form. And so the given interpretation, this was a paper in 1983, the given interpretation was they'll call Jacobi Ando function. So Jacobi Ando function is you take a set E, you take an order partition, so you have another partition, and Jacobi Ando function is just a function from E to E, as we have seen, Ando function, the species Ando function, which was the substitution of, in the species permutation, you substitute arborescence and you get Ando function. But there is a condition such that the restriction of this Ando function to the subset A is an injection And the restriction of F to the subset B is also an injection. So this is called a Jacobi, an Ondo function, or the same, a Jacobi configuration. So here is an example of an Ondo function, of a Jacobi configuration. So say you have an Ondo function. The restriction to A must be an injection to A in volume A plus B, and the restriction G in blue, the injection must be the restriction to B must be an injection. So in fact, a Jacobi, we are going to call this Jacobi configuration, is just a pair of F and G. So this is F. This is F. This is the Ondo function. You start from A in red, and you go to A union B. So this is you recognize the Laguerre configuration. There is some cycle, there is some ray cycle, and there is some chain, and the chain finish in a blue point. So this is the restriction of the Ondo function to A. Now the restriction to B is another Ondo function. So we have some blue chain stopping in a red point, or blue cycle. So we call this Jacobi configuration. It's just a pair. It's a pair. In fact, this Ondo function defined the paper of Leroux and Fauteuil is just a pair. It's a pair of two Laguerre configuration. I call this Jacobi configuration. Is a pair of a Laguerre configuration from A to B. So it's an F, and a Laguerre configuration from B to A. You see the picture. This is the superposition of F and G. It's an Ondo function, so that the restriction to the blue or the red point is injective, but it's the same as to say that it's a pair of an injection in F from A to B and another injection, another Laguerre configuration. And so the Jacobi configuration is a pair of these two Laguerre configuration. And we have seen Laguerre configuration. And we put a weight for each cycle of the Laguerre. We put a weight in the cycle. So the natural idea is to put a weight. Again, when you have a pair FG, so the weight is going to be the following. The weight of the Laguerre configuration is alpha plus 1 multiply power the number of cycles of F, which means you put alpha plus 1 for each cycle of F, which means each red cycle. And now you put a beta plus 1 for each cycle of G, which means a beta plus 1 for the blue cycle. But there is three kinds of cycle. There is a red cycle, the blue cycle, and there is a mixed one, where the edges can be blue and red. But the weight is only on the red cycle alpha plus 1, on the blue cycle beta plus 1, and then you put x power, so x is going to be the number of elements of the red points. It's the number of red points. So you put x power, the number of red points, and y power, the number of blue points. So this will be the weight of the Laguerre, of the Jacobi configuration. And you have to show that the sum of the weight of this is going to give the Jacobi polynomial in a homogeneous form. So theorem, proposition, if you take any set with n element, and you take this homogeneous Jacobi polynomial, is going to be the sum of the weight of all Jacobi configuration, which is a pair of a Laguerre configuration from A to B and a Laguerre configuration from B to A. So first step of the bijective proof is to prove this. This is the first interpretation of Jacobi polynomial. So let's take a order partition. Number of elements of A is equal to I. Number of elements of B is equal to J. And you take two Laguerre into two injection. And you put the weight as a Laguerre configuration. You can put a weight for F. This is the weight in terms of Laguerre F. This is the weight for Laguerre G. And then the total weight for the Jacobi is the summation of all the weight for all Jacobi. It's a product of the summation of the weight for the F and the weight for the G. It's more or less obvious that taking where the weight of so this is the total weight of the Jacobi configuration. So you have this weight, you have this weight here. So you decompose into F and G, and you get this, and you get the sum of all the weight for Jacobi configuration, the product of this summation. You just have an injection, one Laguerre, A to B, and one Laguerre, B to A. And so now we know how to count, how to enumerate this injection. Here it's, this sum is oh, maybe I forget to say that if there is, yes, don't forget this condition. I start with a pair AB where the number element in A is I, number element is B in J. So when I sum, I take all this, I keep I and J, and then this summation is going to be total number of Laguerre injection with going from a set with I element to a set with I plus J element. This one will give the number of injection, which we have seen before for each individual Laguerre. And then I get the sum of all the pair FG is going to be given by this. If I replace this product here, the summation of all Jacobi permutation, and we have seen that this was a definition. We start from this definition of a Jacobi polynomial, summation over all such, and we see that we have the same things. And so this gives a proof of the theorem that the Jacobi polynomial put in a homogeneous form is the sum of the weight of all this Jacobi configuration. So this was the first step to give a commutative interpretation of the Jacobi polynomial. So now the second step is to give a proof of the formula that the exponential generating function for Jacobi was a product of this three term containing this radical R. And the simple idea is that any Jacobi configuration is a product of three. Inside, you can decompose Jacobi configuration with a red cycle. This was F. Jacobi configuration with blue cycle. And Jacobi configuration with mixed cycle. And so the generating function for Jacobi is going to be the product of this three term. And this is going to be exactly parallel to give me the formula, the product at the beginning. I want to prove this formula with the R, and there was two other terms. There was a product of three terms. R is a radical, it's going to be mixed cycle, and the other term with alpha and beta is going to be the red cycle and the blue cycle. No, it's very beautiful paper. It's very powerful with this exponent species. And so I take the same notation phi for index W. So I call phi index W of t is an exponential generating function of homogeneous Jacobi polynomial. And I will, maybe I will restrict this. There's three types. There will be a Jacobi polynomial with only red cycle, Jacobi polynomial with only blue cycle, and Jacobi polynomial with mixed cycle. So sometimes I will put this generating function, exponential generating function, with an A, a B, or an M, with a weight W. There will be three generating functions corresponding to each of this part with red cycle, blue cycle, or mixed cycle. Then I will have another notation. I will put a V when I forget the alpha beta. If you put alpha beta equals 0, so alpha plus 1 is 1. So if you forget the alpha beta, then this will be another weight also, phi of V, and there will be also an A, B, or C. There is two different weights, V and W, and three different types. And so the lemma is that this weight in V or W is a product of three things. So this generative function of Jacobi configuration with only red cycle, only blue cycle, or mixed cycle. And here, where you are taking account of the alpha plus 1, beta plus 1, or here you don't put the weight alpha plus 1, beta plus 1. So this is obvious now from the theory of species that you have this at this level here, this product. It's because you can decompose this. It's a triple. It's a product of three assembly of these things with only red cycle, assembly of this kind of things with only blue cycle, assembly with only mixed cycle. For example, here is one of these terms. This is the blue. This is the phi index. It should be blue. This phi index, the beta. I have only blue cycle, and this term means you forget you don't put the weight beta plus 1. So this is a mixed cycle here. There is two more mixed cycle, and this is with the red cycle. You have the whole things which decompose into this product of special. So why to make the difference between when you put the weight alpha plus 1 on the red cycle or beta plus 1 on the blue cycle, why to put a different weight V when there is no weight alpha plus 1? Well, it's to simplify, to make a more rigorous proof. So I claim that lemma, when you put for the blue, the part with only red cycle, when you don't put the weight, this is phi A, you don't put the alpha plus 1, then this is equal to this, power alpha plus 1. This power beta plus 1. It's analog for the permutation with cycle. So you have to prove first that if you take any Laguerre configuration of type A, all the cycles are red. So the weight is going to be alpha if there is k cycle. If there is k if there is k connected component in this picture, so it means there is only k. There is k. The connected component are this. This is one connected component with red cycle, blue red cycle. This is another connected component, another one. So there is three connected components. This cycle can be of less one. So there is three connected components. And then if I delete the alpha plus 1, I get this formula. Where is the formula? I get this formula. Yes, it's that phi alpha of t equals the power of this. It's because this is exponential. So this here it's I put red. Sorry, for the picture it's only blue. Consider it's blue. Here the formula with a red cycle. Here the picture with a blue cycle. So this formula means that it is an exponential of the same thing which are connected component. So which is one of these components. Here I have two components with blue cycle. So if I take this phi with blue, it will be exponential of this. And now going from the V weight to the W weight, you have to multiply each component. You multiply by the weight, which is beta plus 1 for blue, alpha plus 1 for red. And then you take the assembly of all this, which is exponential of this multiplied by this, which is equal to this because of the exponential property. If you take the logarithm and take the exponential, this is exactly the same as saying that the weight, if you take permutation, counting permutation by cycle, you have to put a weight alpha plus 1 for each cycle. So with these two lemmas, what we want to prove is this. And with this formula, we get. And it is sufficient to prove. In fact, I can prove only this. So I have deleted the weight alpha plus 1, etc., which appear in alpha, beta, etc. here. So with the previous lemma I have done, to prove this, it is really sufficient to prove this. So this three term coming from the first proposition formula for Jacobi, this is a radical, and there is no more weight alpha plus 1, beta plus 1. So I have to prove that this phi with the V weight, there is no more alpha beta plus 1, beta plus 1. You have to prove this three formula with the radical R. So I'm going to define CA of t, CB of t. It's the exponential gyrating function for contraction of type A or B What means a contraction? A contraction is a connected Jacobi configuration of type A with a unique cycle of length 1. So you take this is connected, take the connected component, and the cycle is reduced only to 1 point. And there is a lemma that each of this Jacobi configuration with the weight V, there is no more alpha beta, the configuration with red cycle, blue cycle, mixed cycle are exactly given by this exponential generating function, where this is exactly the generating function, exponential generating function for contraction of type A or B, and contraction means there is only cycle of length 1. So what is the idea which is behind this? It's if you take a connected Jacobi configuration of type A with a unique cycle of length 1, like this, when you write this formula, it means that remember the lemma on Ondeau function. An Ondeau function, you have a permutation, and you make substitution in each point of the permutation of an arborescence. So I am going to do this, you see. Suppose you have here, it's a mixed cycle. And I am going to say that each mixed cycle, you say you can substitute in this blue point an arborescence. This is a Jacobi arborescence, starting with the blue edges, because you cannot put a red edges here, because there would be two red edges. It may be an injection. There is no two red arrow or two blue arrow having at the same point. So what I am saying here, it's when you reduce, so you can replace this by this. Even if it's a blue point here, you make a substitution. Substitution is because if you put a red cycle of length 1, you are forced to put blue edges here. And so in fact, this formula is to say that for each Jacobi configuration of type A, of type B, of type mixed, it's a species of substitution inside the permutation, for example, for this one. You substitute inside the permutation with red cycle, you substitute the arborescence, the CA, which are arborescence here, which are the same as a Jacobi configuration with a cycle of length only 1. So you get this formula. This formula, you see, we consider any Jacobi configuration of type 1 to A, B, or M as a permutation of Jacobi arborescence. Jacobi arborescence are isomorphic to some the same Jacobi Ondeau function with only one cycle of length 1. And so here you see you consider there is this. I go back to the Ondeau function. It's a triple. It's a pair. So you have a product of 3 generating functions, and each generating function, for example, if you take the red cycle, so you have a permutation, and you substitute in this permutation the arborescence. And each of these arborescence must start with the blue edges, because all the edges of the cycle are red. And so such picture like this is exactly the CA, the arborescence, Jacobi arborescence with the cycle of length, red cycle of length 1. And so this formula is exactly 1 over 1 minus C is a permutation of primitive reduced arborescence with only 1 point at the end. This is Jacobi configuration. So if I am still with Jacobi configuration, but this is now, I am here with exponential generating function. Don't forget that I work with exponential generating function. This is 1 over 1 minus C was the generating function of permutation. So it was permutation. There was 3 kinds of permutation with cycle red, blue, or mixed. And now I am going to define Jacobi arborescence with unlabeled. So here, this was exponential generating function, Now I am with arborescence, unlabeled. I am in the world close to Catalan number. And unlabeled arborescence, I will call A of t, the ordinary generating function for Jacobi arborescence with the V weight. And in fact, you see, the Catalan number, exponential generating function for Catalan, is the same as for ordinary generating function. Now here is a Jacobi arborescence, which is in bijection with a binary tree. You see, each time you have a blue edges, you go left. Each time you have a red edges, this should be left. No, this should be left. These blue edges should be all left here, and the red edges go to the left. And so I am in the world of Catalan generating function. So if I took A of t, the ordinary generating function with the V, then arborescence, the red one, the cycle, you have to see the color of the A, the B, and then, so the first edges must be red, here the first edges must be Y, and then you have a 1 plus, you have this analog of Catalan generating function for binary tree or arborescence. It is binary, there is always at most one edge is a blue and a red, and you have some equation analog to, but now we are in ordinary generating function. So you just have to check carefully the generating function for arborescence. This is the analog with quadratic equation for the Catalan number. You have exactly the analog with the color, everything. We are in the world of Catalan with ordinary generating function. Now we have no more species and we forget everything. And now you have a quadratic equation. So for the Catalan number, you remember you have to take the square root of 1 minus 40, something like this. So if you take the radical of this equation, radical is exactly the R of the beginning. This is exactly the R we are supposed to. And then you have this formula, A of t equals this. And then if you make some computation, then you have a C. So I resume all the computation I have done in the beginning. I have completely solved the problem. I have if I go back to all what I have done, okay. I have A equals this equation, the radical is this, C of t equals this, C of t equals this, then the phi, the product, triple product is equal to this, to this, to this, and if you formulate all this, then you get this three equation, and I claim that at beginning, it is sufficient to prove this to get the theorem. So it was sufficient. I have get a proof of this. And so I get a proof from my proposition. And if I go back to the notation of Jacobi, I get this and this. So you see, it's a very beautiful proposition. And Pierre Leroux make all the paper. You see, for example, this definition with derivative, he has also a proof, cometal proof by derivation. So yeah, there's many, and I will finish 3 minutes with a beautiful formula. Limit formula, because Jacobi was with pair of Laguerre and one Laguerre. So what is the relationship between, in the ASCII tableau, there was many, from Jacobi, you can go to Laguerre. So this is this formula, limit formula. It was proved by Labbé and Lenier in the limit of this Jacobi polynomial substituted by this equals this Laguerre polynomial. So see, if you take the Jacobi polynomial, can go to Laguerre polynomial. So in the ASCII tableau, all these edges can be explained combinatorially. And the proof is the following. If you substitute x, go back to the ordinary Jacobi with a small x, small y, you substitute capital X. You substitute x by this, so you get the sum of W weight. Well, W weight would be this. You can just make the substitution with the formula with x plus 1 over 2, x minus 1. So go back to the formula. And then if you take so you have to take the limit of this weight, but because of this term, when beta go to infinity, this is going to be 0. So the limit will be 0 unless you can combine, you can cancel this beta minus 1 with this beta here, unless the number of cycles of G is exactly the number of elements, which means that G is the identity. And in that case, the limit, so everybody is disappear, they cancel, most of the configuration are going to become 0, and the limit will be W of F, which is Laguerre permutation. So you get again a bijective proof to explain the ASCII tableau with, but next time I will go more on the Mechner-Pollaczek, Hahn polynomial. All these tableaux can be explained by a combination of permutation and Laguerre injection, and a very beautiful proof. All the limit formula has been done, many things have been done. And next time I will do Mechner-Pollaczek. Okay, so at the end of this session, and thank you very much.